Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we are tracing the incredible interconnected story of our planet's health. We're drawing directly from the latest data from NASA, the UN Environment Program, and the World Resources Institute to map out the exact crisis facing our Earth right now. But we're also going to look at the absolutely incredible lengths we're going to save it. So, it's really the biggest question of our generation, isn't it? Can we actually reverse the damage to our planet before it's simply too late? Well, to understand our future and formulate a real answer to that, we first need to take a step back. We need to look at the macro crisis that's unfolding right now so we can truly understand the baseline. Part 1. The warming planet, the human expansion of the greenhouse effect. To understand the massive climate shift we've seen accelerating since the mid-20th century, we've got to look at the baseline data from NASA. Over the last century, our burning of fossil fuels, specifically coal and oil, has fundamentally altered our atmosphere. The science here is straightforward, but honestly, it's profound. The burning process combines carbon with oxygen in the air to make carbon dioxide, and that carbon dioxide traps heat radiating from Earth toward space. The result? Dramatically increased CO2 concentrations that are literally baking the planet. And the real-world effects? They're already here. There's this direct, irreversible correlation unfolding today. As global temperatures rise, severe weather events intensify, and our crucial sea ice melts away. These are the exact effects NASA scientists predicted decades ago, and they are now undeniable realities for all of us live today. So, the big question becomes, as global temperatures rise and these severe weather events just keep intensifying, how will our critical habitats survive the heat? This brings us down from the global atmosphere right to the front lines of our changing landscapes on the ground. Part 2. Our changing forests, the front lines of habitat disruption. Using incredible satellite data from Global Forest Watch and the World Resources Institute, we can clearly contrast healthy, continuous tree cover against rapidly deforested landscapes. What was once a beautifully unified ecosystem is being chopped up into isolated islands of green by things like illegal logging and gold mining. This is completely altering the biological landscape in the tropics. The data shows us exactly where this tree cover loss is happening right now, fragmenting our last truly intact forests. But, land is really just one part of the equation here. If our forests are fragmenting under all this pressure, what's happening to the ecosystems protecting our coasts? Let's move to the waters and see how coastal and marine habitats are bearing the brunt of this disruption. Part 3. Oceans on the brink. Marine ecosystems under pressure. NOAA and the IUCN have documented a massive multi-front challenge. Our oceans are absorbing heat and literally choking on waste. It's a really stark contrast between thriving biodiverse environments and heavy plastic pollution. Yet Copernicus data reveals a surprising fact. Nature is fighting back. Down in the Caribbean Sea of Guatemala, near the Motagua River, mangroves are actually maintaining high photosynthesis despite severe contamination. It shows absolutely incredible resilience if we just give them a fighting chance. Still, resilience definitely has its limits. When habitats from deep forests to coastal waters degrade so rapidly, who pays the ultimate price? Well, the answer, tragically, is the wildlife that relies on this entire interconnected web. Part 4. The biodiversity crisis, the threat to the web of life. The IUCN Red List has assessed over 175,000 species, and it reveals a pretty grim reality. Life below ground shapes life above ground, and right now, the entire web is under threat. UN Environment Program data highlights this perfectly through a species that's incredibly close to our hearts, chimpanzees. We share over 98% of our DNA with them, yet today, all 4 subspecies are endangered. Their numbers are just plummeting due to the exact things we've been talking about: habitat loss, disease, and hunting. Reflecting on Dr. Jane Goodall's groundbreaking research, BBC Earth notes the immense emotional weight of this crisis. Goodall proved that chimps use tools, they show empathy, and they live in complex social groups, just like us. We aren't just saving abstract species here, we're saving our closest relatives. We absolutely must protect the biodiversity of our soil, our forests, and our oceans. Which leads us to a really critical turning point in this explainer. Are we destined to just watch these species disappear, or is there still hope for recovery? Well, based entirely on the data, while the threats are immense, we are absolutely not without powerful tools and some incredibly inspiring victories. Part 5. Inspiring conservation comebacks, victories for the planet.
Over in the Amazon, rapid response technology is a real game changer. Using Global Forest Watch's GLAD alerts, satellites can now detect illegal deforestation and mining within days. Within 24 hours, that precise information reaches policymakers. And within just 48 hours, groups like the Amazon Conservation Association are taking action right on the ground. We are actively moving from just observing destruction to stopping it in real time.
And hey, the successes aren't just happening in the forests. The WWF recently reported some incredible positive news from Namibia regarding rhinos. By following very dedicated, step-by-step conservation efforts, like closely monitoring populations and implementing really strict anti-poaching measures, they have recorded the lowest rhino poaching rates in over a decade. When we actually commit to a strategy and fund it, it works. So, if we know how to protect forests in 48 hours, and we know how to save rhinos from poaching, what's stopping us from scaling these efforts globally? What is the missing ingredient here? The answer lies entirely in human consensus and our collective will to act. Part 6. The Future We Choose. The Surprising Global Consensus. A recent report from Conservation International stated, "There is no one else coming to save us. This is it. We are it. Let's get to work." And research from Our World in Data reveals a deeply, deeply encouraging fact. The majority of people in every single country actually support action on climate change. We all want to fix this. We consistently underestimate the willingness of others to act alongside us, but the data proves that we are the overwhelming majority. There's this massive gap between actual public support and how little support we perceive exists. But the consensus is already here. If we align our actions with our shared beliefs, we can achieve massive goals, like the Bond Challenge, which is this incredible global pledge recorded by the IUCN to restore over 210 million hectares of degraded and deforested landscapes. The will is there, the pledges are there. Which brings us to our final thought. We have the stark scientific data from NASA, we have incredible conservation technology working down in the Amazon, and we have proven majority human support across the entire globe. We have everything we need. The only question left is, will we harness this global consensus to protect our home before time runs out? That's what you should take away from this explainer today. You are absolutely not alone in wanting to save this planet. So let's get to work. Thanks so much for joining us.